Yo, 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 back at it again with another TGB Insider for the month. Thanks everyone for backing, as usual. Another month of dedicated pledges keeps the channel going. And today, on this episode, I decided to mix things up yet again with a special guest. We got your boy, Hyperbit Hero.
Oh yeah, guys, it's me, Hyperbit. Feels really great to be inside TGB right now, you know?
Yeah, he was like drooling at the opportunity to come on the legendary show that is TGB Insider.
With its huge audience.
Huge audience.
Of like 86 people.
There's at least like 100. I'm gonna say this will get 100. This will get 100.
100 plus. 100 plus.
Once I announce who's on the show,
you know. Okay.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Still trying to find out my footing kind of with this program. So I figured having someone on to see how that would go would be an interesting mix-up.
No, yeah, I'm gonna fill up all the dead space and the dead air.
Yeah, because usually I used to have to edit these down and cut out all my bullshit.
You'll still have to do that.
Yeah, I'll still have to do that. So this episode's a little delayed this month because I did the Naughty Dog video, and then I did the difficulty one because I needed to get that. I needed to make up for the Naughty Dog video by getting some topical views on the difficulty one.
And then it turns out your Naughty Dog video gets more views than the difficulty one.
Yeah, miscalculation. But so this got pushed back, but here we are today. Have you ever been to a gaming convention?
No. I've been to anime conventions.
Okay.
I met the guy who voices Ed from Fullmetal Alchemist, and he gave
Vic Mignogna?
Yeah, and he gave me Haichu.
Just you?
Yeah. No, he gave everyone, but he personally handed it to me. He was like, holy shit, ever heard of Haichu? Here you go, try it. He just kind of pulled them out of his pocket. They were all warm. they're all melted.
I'm glad to know you got Vic's sweaty Haichus.
Yeah. It was really weird. He was forecing people to eat them, you know? like nobody actually wanted them, but he was holding it. He's like, take it now. And this girl was like, no, I don't want it. It was really weird. But he's Ed from Fullmetal Alchemist, so we were cool with it, you know? We were like, yeah, that's really in character, so...
Do they have, video games?
They had, a midnight hentai show where they just, had...
Really?
Porn on a giant projector, yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
No video games, but, I have to say, this is kind of better than video games.
Even when they do, big, conventions here, even if it's, anime or whatever, usually some publisher will show up with, their game of the month or whatever. Square Enix will show up and sell some play arts and some soundtracks or something. Anyway, the reason I bring this up is because I went to a convention. Me and Mark Brown from GMTK, we went down to this gaming convention, and to this place called EGX in Birmingham. Basically, another YouTuber told me he got a press pass, and I wasn't interested in going, but once he told me, I was like, I can get a fucking press pass. I'm fucking legendary. So I got one just to see if I could. And then I was like, well, might as well go.
That's a really good prank you pulled.
Sort of like a prank I pulled on myself.
You actually showed up. Damn.
So I went down there, and it was kind of, you had Nintendo and Ubisoft and PlayStation, and they were all there. They're showing off their latest games. It's kind of like a mini E3 where they don't announce anything. It's just the trade show.
Oh.
But because it's later than E3, all the games are going to be out in a couple months anyway, so it's why am I even here? I don't think I'd ever pay to go to one of those. Because the queues are 2 hours long. So we played some Sonic and some Dragon Ball, which was the two things that were free.
Whoa, no one wanted to play Dragon Ball? The fuck?
Maybe Dragon Ball filled up later, but when we got there, Sonic and Dragon Ball were free. Sonic was pretty mediocre, kind of unmemorable, but Dragon Ball Z Fighters was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Obviously, I didn't know what I was doing the first time ever playing the game, but...
good excuse.
I don't even need an excuse. No one's, judging me.
You still had to make one, though.
I know. Well, I'm just saying I can't, it's harder to accurately figure out the quality of 10 minutes of fighting gameplay as opposed to jumping around as Sonic and being kind of bored. everyone's talking about how great it looks and how the animation's really cool, and it does look. It looks kind of low res to me, though. I feel like it might be like one of those 900p kind of games.
It's being
you know
authentic.
what I mean? Like...
It's giving it that authentic cell look.
Maybe animation cell look. That's all we played, and then we spent like the next 4 hours kind of just walking around, looking and being like, I don't want to wait in that queue.
Damn.
They had like Dissidia. All the indie games were easy to play. I can't remember. We played one that was like this 2D ninja game where like you're in the dark,
you're like
you hide in the shadows.
You're like a cup. You have like a cup for a head.
And Cuphead wasn't there actually. But the indie games were cool because obviously the devs are there looking over your shoulder, seeing if you're enjoying yourself. So that's a very intimate experience.
Cracking their knuckles.
Figured I'd bring that up since the whole reason I went in is because I'm press, so I should probably mention it once in my career that I went, even if it's like a month later. So did you see anything from Tokyo Game Show?
Vaguely. I kind of watched from afar, I saw the Yakuza stuff.
That was like before Tokyo Game Show.
Was it?
Yeah, because I talked about that on my last Insider.
Dude, I don't even know what's going on in the world anymore.
That Yakuza stuff and Tokyo Game Show that happens all at once. In Japan, they don't really broadcast it to us very heavily. It's hard to figure out what went on. I was just looking at the list right now before the show, and I was like, what the fuck? Didn't know that happened. But yeah, one of the biggest surprises was seeing Konami emerge from the fucking crypt and announce Zone of the Enders 2 for PS4.
VR, Anubis.
VR, Anubis. What does that mean, though?
Well, Zone of the Enders 2. Zone of the Enders 2 is just called Zone of the Enders Anubis, I think. 2 Anubis in Japan.
Oh, okay. It's called the second runner here.
Yeah. It's just called Anubis. So, which is a badass name.
Now, the original HD collection had some performance issues, but were they fixed for Zone of the Enders 2?
I mean, they got it up to 1080p on PS3 only, and it's like 40 to 60 frames now.
Yeah.
So 60 when nothing's happening, and like 40 when stuff is happening.
So this might be a worthwhile port then, like this new version.
Yeah.
Like, if it's going to be rock solid 1080, 60 FPS, and I think it's going to be 4K on PC, which is like.
Yeah, but I mean, I have my doubts about how well this thing plays in VR.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird concept. I mean, people were already making fun of the cockpits before they even knew what it felt like to fucking play as a robot's dick.
I think this is just cool though because, there's no way Konami's going to make any more new good games, right? Mm-hmm. But there's no reason they can't just bring out all the old games again and like refine them a little bit, even though we kind of don't even trust them to do that on most occasions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if this is good, MGS4, bro, on PS4, that'd be good.
Okay, well, that could be cool, but I don't know if you noticed this. I don't know how familiar you are with Zone of the Enders 2, but like the graphical style is way different in this remake. Like the art style, lighting is way different. It's like, in my opinion, I don't like it as much. So it's got like a weirder kind of like smoother, I don't even know how to describe it, the graphical style, and then the lighting is like super bright, like Ground Zeroes, like, lens flares.
I just think it's kind of weird, like who like it doesn't seem like an executive Konami move. It feels like someone with a soul must have come up with this idea in some way in Konami, like let's do Zone of the Enders 2 again, we'll put it out again.
It's because, listen, this is how it happened, right? They're talking to the Kojima Productions team there, the remnants. They're like, oh shit, guys, what are we gonna do? And they're like, listen, we still got Zone of the Enders, right? And they're like, okay, we're gonna do a third game. We're gonna revive the Enders project. And we're gonna get a bunch of good press by finally making the third game. But first, we're gonna make this shitty VR game because we need we need some money.
I've got another theory. Everything that you said just happened, except just before they like hit the button to like load up the Enders project, Konami flies in through the window and says, "Wait a minute, we gotta do the old franchised commercial viability test. Re-release the old one again. If it sells 10 million units, we'll let you make the third one." And they're like, "No."
They're like, "We'll just re-release the second game." They're like, "How about VR, buddy?" That'll sell.
Yeah. There was a few other things at Tokyo Game Show. Have you been seeing this Code Vein game by Namco? It's like anime Dark Souls.
I thought that got announced a while ago.
This is like the showing, the biggest showing. There was a trailer E3.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, it just seems... I don't like the art style to this one. I think it's kind of garish.
This is Namco's next big project. This is their next enslaved odyssey to the west.
I guess. It must be.
No, I haven't seen any gameplay for it. I just keep hearing people call it anime Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Which could mean anything.
Yoji Shinkawa has apparently taken a break from working on Death Stranding. Apparently he must have got all the concept art done because he's helping Square Enix make a new mech game.
I just gotta stop you there. Did you just say Yoji Shinkawa?
Yoji?
Did you say Yoji? You're like you just say Yang Shinkawa.
it's Yoji Shinkawa.
Yeah, you're
right?
like Yoji Shinkawa.
That's just what
It's Yang Shinkawa.
Mr. Shinkawa is working on a new mech game for Square Enix, and apparently it takes place in the same universe as Front Mission.
Jigeramo Shinkawa.
Have you played Front Mission?
No, I haven't.
It's like a strategy mech game.
Yeah, for the PS1, right?
It started on the Super Famicom, actually.
Shit.
And then it's got some history. But then I think it might have been the Silent Hill Downpour team made like a third-person shooter.
Yeah.
Like Front Mission Evolved, and then that was like no one liked that, and then the series died.
I thought the Downpour team only made like 2 games: Russian Assault and Downpour, and then nothing else.
Oh, they made Green Lantern the game. I'm pretty sure.
Oh God, are we talking Double Helix or Vetra? I think Vetra is the company that made Downpour.
Vetra's is the Downpour. Oh, yeah. I meant Homecoming. Yeah, the Homecoming.
So
guys.
Double Helix.
Yeah, Double Helix.
So Double Helix made a shitty Front Mission game, keeping you on your toes, man.
Yeah, Silent Hill Homecoming, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, Front Mission Evolved, Green Lantern, Rise of the Manhunters, Battleship the game.
Holy shit.
And then Killer Instinct Season 1?
Yeah, well, they were bad before, then they became good for Killer Instinct.
They made the new Strider, and that wasn't that bad either, so...
Oh, true.
Weird. But yeah, so this isn't a new Front Mission game, but Yoji Shinkawa's doing the art of a mecha game, so, that's going to be fucking good. That's going to be fucking fun. I'm excited to see how this turns out.
Yoji Shinkawa's been doing, like, concept art for a lot of games recently. Didn't he do, like, the new Call of Duty's got Yoji Shinkawa art? Is Kojima, like, whoring him out to different projects to, like, gain money for their goddamn company?
Was that just promotional art for Call of Duty, or was it, like...
I'm sure it is, yeah. All the characters in the new Call of Duty are just really anime. Like...
He probably drew all the Death Stranding characters in like a week and then was like, now what do I do? While everyone makes the game over the course of 10 years.
Drew all the Death Stranding characters and then said, fuck, I need money. And then added the Call of Duty logo. Sold them to Activision.
Yeah. Okay. Fire Emblem Musou, I think that's like they're trying. Tecmo Koei won't stop until every franchise in existence has a Musou game. Yeah, it's like we'll just grab the templates from that one, slam it on, whatever. I feel like Fire Emblem makes the least sense out of all the franchises that already don't make sense to make a Musou out of. I feel like Fire Emblem, the game where like one dude is like told to go around a battlefield and then like you have a 1v1 with someone else and then you go on to the next dude in like a strategy game is like the least applicable to like Musou's.
Yeah. Got like permadeath and stuff like that, like but like Musou is like square to 1,000 dudes and they all die. Okay. No strategy at all.
I guess the biggest news story of the moment is Visceral Games is officially shut down, and you'll all probably know Visceral Games is the guys who made the Dead Space trilogy, Dante's Inferno as well, somewhere in the middle. That was kind of the binary domain of their repertoire.
Yeah. That's actually no, because that game's more famous than Dead Space. It's beloved by all.
Yeah, it's a bigger. Dante's Inferno is a way bigger intellectual property than Dead Space. Clearly,
Yeah, so they're
dates back a long time.
So they're like, the creative directors at Visceral, they didn't want to sully the Dante's Infernal franchise by making a sequel. So they're like, we gotta fucking shut these people down and give it to a new company. We gotta have Dante's Inferno 2 made by any means necessary.
Hey, I beat Dante's Inferno back in the day. I don't know if you've actually played it, buddy. You're making all these jokes.
I played the demo.
Yeah, it was very, very shamelessly God of War, even in the control scheme.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty good opening, though. It's like, so you're in the middle of the frickin' Crusades, okay, as Dante, and
from Devil May Cry?
From this crossover project made a few years ago called The Divine Comedy, released as a series of light novels. Basically, at the start of the game, you get stabbed in the back in the middle of a crusade, and then Death shows up, the Grim Reaper shows up, and he's like, come on, Dante, we're going to hell, you died. And then Dante's like, fuck you. And he, like, beats up the Grim Reaper, and he kills the Grim Reaper, steals his scythe, and then, like, leaves and doesn't get killed. Like, which is pretty cool. And then he goes home, and his wife's been killed, and he's like, fuck this, I'm going into hell to get her back. So, somehow I don't think that's how it went down in the book. But Visceral Games, yeah. It seems like they were the, like, when the 7th generation began and EA, like, killed a bunch of studios, Visceral kind of survived because a few people bought Dead Space, and ironically now, they, years later, they still got closed anyway. Like, it's the destiny of the EA-owned EA-owned company to just bite the dust.
Yeah, so, I mean, we all saw this coming, right? I mean, they got told to make Battlefield Hardline. Come on. It was over for them. The game was rigged from the beginning.
The way I see it, right, they basically... So Dead Space 3 kind of tanked, even though EA tried to, like, fill it with loads of bullshit, like microtransactions and stuff to make it profitable. Mm-hmm. And then they got kind of like, okay, you guys aren't allowed to make your own little original projects anymore. Into the mines to make Battlefield Hardline single player or whatever. And then they got handed this big Star Wars project, and I guess, like, something did seem fishy about that Star Wars project, because they kept talking about it every year at the E3 conference, but then they never showed the actual game at any point. So it's like,
I think I've seen, like, one screenshot of it, of, like, someone just standing there in the middle of a generic desert town, you know?
Well, it was the same case with Mass Effect Andromeda, really. They were talking about it for like 2 E3 straight without showing the game, and then the game eventually came out and it was really bad, so maybe EA were like thinking, damn, are we going to get another Andromeda on our hands here? Maybe it wasn't that bad, but from what I've heard, basically they're taking the game, which was going to be like a single-player Star Wars adventure, and they want to make something else, something different, something like either open world or multiplayer focused, so... I guess which, you know, it kind of made sense, a kind of tiny bit of sense for, like, Visceral, who have made the Dead Space games, to make kind of sci-fi Star Wars thing. I don't know, I wasn't really excited for this game or anything, but...
I mean, I was interested in it since Amy Hennig was working on it.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what she was going to do next after she was thrown out of Naughty Dog. After her beautiful baby creation was stolen from her and killed.
After Neil Druckmann took the reins.
After he took
Uncharted 4.
After he turned it into a baby simulator. There was going to be so much death and betrayal in Uncharted 4.
This was going to be like the grim ending to Uncharted, and said you got your fairy tale ending, kids.
That's why it was going to be called Thieves End, because it was going to be the end, not some fairy tale bullshit.
I don't know. I kind of liked the direction they took eventually with the game and the version we got, even though it clearly seemed very different from the Amy Hennig, like, original concept and the original, like, the first teaser trailer that was really dark and foreboding, and like, Nathan Drake's brother's gonna come back and, like, fucking kill him or something, as opposed to the game we got where they're best buds.
Yeah. I mean, I like the game. Uncharted 4 is cool. I am interested in, like, I want to know more about, like, what she was doing with that game. Just not, I don't wish it existed over the current version that we have, but I mean, it's very interesting. I'd love to hear what it was like.
I was gonna say, it's like Metal Gear Rising, but I think you would have preferred if the original Rising existed over the over the one we got. I don't know, maybe not.
I mean, there's pros and cons, you know.
Yeah, I feel sorry for her though, because this is like the second project in a row that she's worked on that's just kind of collapsed, and like, you know, she's had it taken out of her hands basically twice in a row. Mm-hmm. So it must be, and like, this is of course over the course of years, which is how long it takes to make games.
Yeah.
Like, and to not see a full finished product. I hope she sticks around in the industry and doesn't like go, damn, I can't deal with this stress anymore.
Yeah. She's gonna go make a new Legacy of Kain.
Hey, that might be good. It's been a while. But I guess this also definitely means we won't be getting any more Dead Space, but I don't know if anyone really wanted any more after the third game was kind of a mess.
Who was making that Star Wars 1313 game?
LucasArts.
Oh, shit.
Remember them? No. They got shot by Disney, and then everything they had was handed to EA, I guess.
Huh. Neither project is coming out. That sucks.
Okay, so what have you been playing lately, man?
I've been playing a bunch of Fist of the North Star games.
Shit.
All across the fucking history of video games. I've been fucking emulating the PC-88 and playing shitty Fist of the North Star visual novels. I've been playing fucking weird-ass, like, cutscene games with really bad gameplay for the fucking Sega Saturn. All over. Everything.
Basically, you saw Yakuza Team announce the Fist of the North Star game, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, shit. I kind of gotta know what this series is about to fucking make a video about it.
Even though we didn't know anything about the series really before the new game got announced. To me, it looks like the better game out of the ones they're making at the moment.
Yeah, it does. Definitely.
Because they're using the Yakuza 0 engine to make it.
I feel like Fist of the North Star, I mean, like, you don't even have to watch it to, like, know what it's about, you know? Like, what it is. Like, you know what Fist of the North Star is, even if you haven't read it. But to be informed on the subject, I had to go read it.
I feel like it's one of the more weird sort of license games where it's like taking a lot from this other franchise, which is the Yakuza series. You know, the title is like a dragon, like a North Star.
Yeah.
And they're using the same voice actors from
it's not just like
a dragon.
It's not just like the Legend of Korra game Platinum made, where it's just like, okay, give us. I don't know how that game was made, but like I assume it has the voice actors from the series and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now that you're saying that, if they had made Legend of Korra with like Bayonetta as Korra, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
They should have done that.
Well, the thing about Fist of the North Star is like, it's like usually in Japanese products they like keep voice actors,
Yeah.
But Fist of the North Star, like throughout its zillion adaptations and stuff, have actually had like tons of different actors for all the characters. Like every game has like a different actor playing them. Every anime has a different fucking voice actors playing all the characters. So it's not out of the ordinary. It's not like there was a guy who voices Kenshiro who was like, what the fuck? They're not hiring me again? Like they're not getting, like Travis Touchdown,
Yeah.
they're not getting fucking Robin Atkin Downs for fucking Travis? The fuck,
Yeah.
So it's not out of the ordinary that different actors would be chosen. It is interesting that they would get all the same actors to play characters from the series. I mean, I think everyone always thought like Kazuma was like a Kenshiro-like character, he had a Kenshiro-like voice and stuff like that, I think it made sense from the beginning that they would choose his voice actor to voice Kenshiro, so that makes sense. And then just other characters in the series. I don't know if it was, inspired by Fist of the North Star, because it's a classic series. I don't know if Majima was inspired by Jagi, that type of crazed character, but, it makes sense that he would voice Jagi. And it is like the Yakuza series is like huge, there are tons of characters, tons of voice actors, so the voice actors they did get for these roles are like series spanning. They're like, there's like a random character voicing someone from fucking Kenzin, So it's not like they just got the generic cast of fucking Yakuza and said, here, you go here, you go here, you go here. They're actually like getting people who are appropriate for the roles, which is cool.
Yeah. But still, it must be fun as a voice actor to be like, okay, we're gonna do Fist of the North Star now, and you're Kenshiro and you're Yagi and all that.
You know,
and
I'm
it's
sure I'm sure these actors know of Fist of the North Star. They enjoy the series, you know. Yeah, I'm sure these actors have reverence for the original voice acting. I don't know. So I'm sure they're like, you know, pretty excited to be the new voices for these characters. But the thing is, like, about the Yakuza team is, like, you get the feeling that they're, like, really close-knit, stuff like that. So, like, you know, they have their voice actors that they like to hire, you know? Like, yeah, we have experience with this guy. We're going to put him in our new game. He's going to voice this character. He's got that good voice, you know? It's kind of like how, you know, Uncharted 4 had fucking Troy Baker in it. You know, we work with Troy Baker. We love him. We're going to get him back in the new game, you know?
yeah.
So it's kind of
I always got that feeling when Nishiki came back for Zero and they brought the voice actor into all the interviews and stuff, and it's like, hey, he's back.
Yeah, definitely.
He's back in the game.
So, you know, definitely feels like they might have just been approached to make a Fist of the North Star game. Like, Sega was like, we're going to make a Fist of the North Star game. Here, Yakuza team, you do it. And then they said, like, whoa. We're going to bring our boys and we're making this game, you know? But, you know, it's not just the voice acting. Like, the entire concept of the game seems like they're remaking it with a Yakuza, like...
I was going to ask, because in the anime, is there any point in the manga or anime where Kenshiro runs a host club and makes people drinks?
No, what's funny about
the... That's a very Yakuza thing.
No, he doesn't do anything like that, but it's funny in the PS1 game, they, like, changed the story to say he was, like, hired as a bartender or a bouncer for this guy's bar instead of just, like, hanging out there, which is kind of cool about that game. The little changes it makes.
I assume this game is going to be chock filled with walking through town. Oh my god, my thing has been stolen by bandits. Please, Kenshiro. And then it's like yada yada, and then you walk over and you do beat him up, and it's like, oh, thank you.
Well, it is interesting because like Kenshiro is not like a funny character at all. Like Kazuma, he's serious and stuff like that, but you know, there's that side of his character where he likes to experience like other people's outlooks on life and like how they live and what they do. He likes to put himself in their roles, and it's funny to see how he reacts to how other people live their lives and stuff like that. But Kenshiro, he is very like so like it's not really in character for him to act like, you know, for him
he's
to...
more of a Jotaro kind of guy, huh?
Yeah, even Jotaro's like more wacky than fucking Kenshiro.
Well, that's what I always like about the characters in Yakuza. And I mean, people like to say, "Oh, wow, isn't the tone wacky in Yakuza?" But it feels like more true to life. The Yakuza characters, in the sense that, you know, you can be a serious person in serious situations, and you can be a goofball who goes and does karaoke and you know, has that side to you. So I think that's always been what's endearing about the Yakuza cast. But you're right, it's not very much. It's not the same with Kenshiro, who's like this guy with this terrible history living in the post-apocalypse.
Yeah, so like Kenshiro's character is like, I really like children, you know? And then bad guys kill children, and he goes, what the fuck? I'm gonna kick your ass. And they're like, you can't kick my ass. And he's like, didn't you hear me? I said I was gonna kick your ass. And then he kicks their ass. Rinse and repeat. I mean, I guess he does some funny stuff sometimes. He has like some funny one-liners and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's this guy who's lying to this guy. Like he said he'll let him live if he can touch him, but then once he touches him, he just kills him. Like, how dare you touch me? So Kenshiro like uses Hokuto Shinken to like, you know, he's gonna die in a few seconds, and unless he tells him what he needs to know, and he tells him, and he's like, okay, no, you're gonna let me go, right? And he's like, have you ever told the truth to anyone before? So then like, you know, he lies to him and fucking kills him.
But you see, you say that's totally something Kazuma wouldn't do. You know, Kazuma would be like, oh, I forgive you. And then it's like, on your way, you know, and then he comes back as a boss fight 5 more times.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the characters in Fist of the North Star are, like, comically evil to the core, you know?
Yeah. I kind of liked how in the trailer there's a bit where, like, Kenshiro walks past, like, a Sega arcade, like, embedded in the sand. That's kind of like a neat callback, a neat element from Yakuza repurposed.
Yeah, and it is a Sega game too that they're playing. Huh?
They took it out of the clutches of Tecmo Koei finally.
Yeah. Um,
and they did it justice.
So it is going to be interesting because like this Kenshiro is not going to be the same Kenshiro. You know, he's going to be a wackier Kenshiro. You know, than previous Kenshiros. You know, he's gonna be a bartender. He's gonna shake fucking. He's gonna shake drinks and go. Oh, no, 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 no. And like have a super high pitched voice, and he's gonna do like he's gonna be doing like a crazy martial art, but instead he bows and he shows all his hostesses that he runs a hostess.
You're gonna be able
club.
to date chicks like in Yakuza, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think if you're a fan of the series, like this is gonna be right up your alley. You know, like if you're a fan of the series, I think you got enough of super serious. Oh my God, this guy's even bigger than the last guy. He's like, your punches don't do anything to me. Oh, yeah, well, what if I punch you like this? And like, you know, a funnier series that like is aware of the history of the series and like what makes it great and what makes it funny, plays on those jokes, you know, recontextualizes it and all that into like a sillier storyline. I think that'll be a fresh new experience that's still gratifying for fans. You know what I mean?
Of course, people are now discussing the precedent this sets for the Yakuza team doing a licensed game and what that could mean for the future. And like, what else? Who else is going to get their mitts on the Yakuza team and have them make a game? You know,
like a Legend of Korra, man. Like you said,
like a Legend of Korra.
Like a
Sword Art Online.
Oh God. I definitely think they could do a good job doing a lot of different games, you know? As long as they... The thing is, like, I don't know. Like, would you consider, like, Bayonetta and stuff, like, to be cheap games? Like, not really, right? They're not cheap or anything. But, like, Legend of Korra, that's, like, a cheap game, you know? Like, the Turtles game, that's a cheap game. So it's like, when Platinum made licensed games, they were, like, making cheaper games, you know? Than their normal output. Obviously, they needed money and all that. But like the Yakuza team, they've always had a low budget, right? They've always been working with like what little they had to make as good of a game as possible.
Which is funny you say that because they're both funded. Those two games, Bayonetta and they're both Sega funded.
Right. And then this Fist of the North Star game looks like more effort's being put into it than some other games that they're making. So
I mean, you say that, but I feel like that might be by accident, because I feel like, in principle, it's like, oh, we'll use the engine from the old game, and we'll just make it that way, and, like, make it quickly. But the old engine was really good, and the Yakuza 6 stuff is kind of a little more wonky and a little more, like, untested, so this might come out kind of better than the new ones.
Right,
This Fist of the North Star game is not going to be, like, a 3-hour Legend of Korra with, like, you know, eight missions that you just beat in, like, an afternoon. It's going to be more than that, and hopefully it's going to be of higher quality too. I mean, a lot of people like the Transformers game. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but then the Ninja Turtles game was a total disaster. So I guess, you know, as long as you said, as long as every game they make is still of a high quality, then yeah, sure, make licensed games. That's fine. Just, you know, make them good.
Sega could use more good games coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know how like good it is to, you know, now force this development team to also make licensed games instead of focusing on Yakuza if you're going to keep doing Yakuza, you know? Like that could pan out poorly in the future.
It's interesting though, because of course Nagoshi's been like promoted to a really high position in Sega, so he must be making a lot of the decisions in this regard, like you know. So it's going to be interesting to see how things pan out after this. I know we're probably going to get a lot of people saying, make my anime game like they did with Platinum.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm a little conflicted about that. Like I'm not sure what other games I would even want the Yakuza team to make, you know? Because it's a very specific like kind of game that Yakuza and Fist of the North Star are. I mean, very specific, like what you do. I mean, first off, like beat 'em ups, right? You know, you're just punching dudes in the face and all that. That's what they're best at. I don't know how well they would even do. Oh, well, I mean, we got Ishin and Kenzin. They can do sword games, too. They can make a Berserk game. A good one. Make my anime.
My question is, though, is that if they do more licensed games, are they going to take the same approach as they did with Like a North Star and integrate the Yakuza element into all the brands?
See, that'd be... if they do that for too long, I feel like that could also be like a double-edged sword. Like, that could be cool for a while, but then, like, It could become like a fucking Ubisoft thing where like really we're doing this again. We've got the same 4 fucking voice actors and all this.
Kazuma's playing Naruto in the new Naruto.
And Orochimaru's played by Majima.
Yeah, I could see how that could get out of hand.
It's
it's
a city where you do side quests and get into random battles and punch people in the face.
Man. They could do Bleach. Kazuma could be Ichigo, I guess.
Could he?
He's kind of they're both serious guys, you know.
Isn't Ichigo like fucking 16?
Yeah, but
he doesn't sound like fucking Kensho.
Kazuma was like 20 in Zero.
That's true, but that's only okay because there were like 10 other Yakuza games.
So yeah, it's ironic that's the one we're looking forward to the most out of the currently announced Yakuza games.
Hey man, if I could, I'd play that fucking phone game. That kind of looks fun.
Anything else you've been playing?
No, not really.
Usually I try and talk about things like I haven't been covering in videos, and when I did the difficulty video, there was Cuphead footage in it, but I didn't really talk much about Cuphead itself. But it's really fun game, really enjoyable title. I don't know if you care at all about Cuphead.
I mean, I haven't played it yet, but I mean, it looks cool. I'm glad people are enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's not really something I want to like fucking seek out and play myself.
I think my favorite thing about it is like because the difficulty is like really high, but and you only take 3 hits before you die in every level. Mm-hmm. What's great about it though is that the main character, he always has this huge like cheeky grin on his face, like he's really enjoying what he's doing, and that really pushes you forward playing the game because you're finding these giant creatures that are like so much more powerful, but you've just got this cheeky face, like you don't care, you're gonna kill this guy anyway. Mm-hmm. The kind of boss fights I like a lot of the time are the ones where you still feel you feel in control of the rhythm of the fight to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It's like there's not just like huge portions of the boss fight where the boss is like over in a corner doing his taxes and you can't hit him or anything. This is like you can always shoot the boss, and the whole boss fight is about like you avoiding things while trying to like keep your fire on the enemy. Mm-hmm. And that's like really fun because it always feels like you're making progress through the boss fight. Like there's always an opportunity to get a hit in no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's very enjoyable in that sense. And I've been trying to beat Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Yeah.
I was watching some World War II documentaries on Netflix, and I was like, oh shit, there's a new Wolfenstein coming out.
You're watching World War II documentaries, and you're like, God, I just want to kill these Nazis.
Basically, yeah.
I beat that game.
Yeah. I'm only like halfway through it, I think.
It's pretty long, from what I remember. Hey, who'd you let live at the beginning, huh? Mm-hmm.
Oh, I let the young guy live.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Who did you let live?
I let the other guy, the Scottish guy or whatever. Irish, whatever.
I was like, he's the younger guy, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I know, but I like the other guy more.
Well, so does the story change then if you does the Scottish guy appear in the base later on when you go forward in time? That's crazy.
Yeah, like there are like characters that only show up in like one timeline or the other. I think the final bosses or whatever is still the same, but there are like way more different cutscenes and stuff like that. Everything plays out differently.
Yeah, so basically in Wolfenstein: The New Order, you start in 1944, losing World War II, and then you cut forward to 15 years later, and you can save one character at the start of the game that will appear later. So I saved the young guy, and he appears later on. There's a scene where he's like, oh, fuck you, BJ. I wasn't ready to take all this responsibility on. You shouldn't have saved me. Basically.
Damn.
He's like, you made the wrong choice.
The other guy the entire time is just cracking jokes the rest of the game.
Damn.
You made the wrong choice.
I did make the wrong decision. Yeah. I feel like it's one of those FPSs that was like, okay, modern design in FPSs is kind of shitty. We're going to take some tiptoes over to having it be more fun. You can dual wield weapons. Right. There's health packs.
There's overcharging your health and having fucking super health.
But after playing Doom and stuff, it's not quite as it still feels like I'm hiding behind cover a lot, and I'm playing on hard difficulty. I think I can't remember. It's called I'm Death Incarnate, so I don't know where that ranks in the difficulty scale, but yeah, it's it still feels like I'm still playing it kind of like a sort of modern FPS. Even though there are new mechanics that kind of differentiate it from that, but it's still pretty fun, and there's a lot of kind of variety in there. There's a lot of segments where you're doing something different that isn't necessarily just shooting. And because the world is such an interesting idea, even when you're not shooting things, it's fun to look around and see what, see how the world changed. You want to know. It's fascinating to look at the notes and look at the alternate history and be like, oh shit, he took out Stalin in this year and he like took England in this year, and it's like,
yeah, they put a lot of effort into that stuff. I wouldn't expect them to, but it's pretty cool that they did.
Yeah, for the new Wolfenstein game, like it's weird.
Yeah.
And then the next game is going to take place in a Nazi America. So
a Nazi America? You mean current day?
Yeah, had to make that joke. Yeah. But it was funny reading the notes and being like, oh, they absorbed Japan and they absorbed Spain and they absorbed Italy, and it's like, oh, those guys were on your team, and you were like, and you still took them.
That's why they were the easiest targets.
You can find like these old Beatles songs, but they're singing in German because it's the alternate timeline, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of interested in playing the second one, but
whoa, buddy.
need to.
How about you enjoy the first one while you still have it?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I need to just enjoy the first one.
That's right. You need to hold your horses, buddy.
You know, Dan Southworth is in the second one.
Oh my God, who is he?
He's like a random soldier at the start of the game that dies immediately.
He plays Virgil.
You wanted me to say something badass, so you could be like, oh yeah, he's Virgil, isn't he?
I haven't played the expansion pack for the
zombie one?
First game. The zombie one. What do you mean?
Yeah, I think it's like a zombie one. One of the expansions.
Shit.
Like takes place in the past again.
The fuck?
Yeah, sounds like the worst idea. Like the most unimaginative idea they could have possibly had.
It sounds so unimaginative. I feel like you're getting a fucking Call of Duty Black Ops 3 expansion mixed up with it.
No, but our zombies are crazy and campy. Maybe. That's the thing, right? It's like
it's ironic.
Bethesda, they just released Evil Within 2 as well. Did you play the first one?
No. But I feel like I have.
Yeah.
I played all the pieces that make it up.
From other games, yeah. Basically.
It's like in Breath of the Wild when you have a bunch of bullshit in your inventory and you just throw it in the pot, you know?
Throw it in the pot. It's Evil Within.
And you're like, hopefully something happened.
Well, apparently the first game sold pretty well, so we got a second one.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. I've seen like just normie people on Facebook talking about how they enjoyed the Evil Within 1, so maybe it's like it's a big deal in those circles and not really in our circles.
It's the remnants of quality from Game Republic staff.
I hope there's 6-axis controls in Evil Within 2. It's a callback.
Yeah, to shake out of when you're getting grabbed by the ghoulies.
Yeah.
I actually have no idea like what the second game's about. Like I've vaguely heard that it's like Downpour style open world. Which is not a good thing. Like someone said it's Downpour if it was less glitchy. Which is not a good...
that doesn't save the game. Yeah. It's like you fixed Downpour by ironing out the glitches. No, you didn't. Yeah, again, I'll have to beat the first one.
Oh, man.
I'm being left behind, man. Being left behind.
I kind of have, I'm kind of interested in playing the first one. Like, it was just one of those things that, like, I was interested in it before it came out, but then once it came out, I just wasn't interested enough to actually pick it up. But it didn't look bad. It just didn't look interesting enough to draw me in, But if the second game is an improvement, then
I just feel like it should be more. I should be more interested because they're Mikami games.
Right.
I feel like I look at them and I'm like, yeah, but where's the thing? Where's the spark? That all his other games have.
I mean, like, I see the weird cover for the second game. It's all white and stuff, and I'm like, that's weird. Might be cool, Like, there's got to be something to it. There's no way Shinji Mikami could be making the most soulless game on the planet and not have blown his brains out already. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like every time he tackles a genre, it's like a defining step forward for that genre.
Right.
It's like ah, shit, like, I'm gonna make shooters way better, and Vanquish is, like, the next level of that, and, like, Resident Evil, you know, started that genre. Resident Evil 4, like, pioneered all this shit, and Evil Within doesn't feel like that.
He's like, you guys are doing that Resident Evil 4 thing. Let me show you how to do it right, you know? And then he's like, oh, you guys are doing that Resident Evil thing, but with crafting. Let me just do that again.
Yeah, I know, it's like... It feels like he's taking from other places instead of innovating, which is usually what he's good at.
Maybe he just needed a paycheck.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm the godfather of survival horror. Yeah, I'll sit around the studio and, like, approve of things that you make, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like like what a produced by Suda51 game is to Mikami.
Yeah. He was also a producer on one of those.
Yes.
Remember when Shadows of the Damned was supposed to be the Shinji Mikami Suda51 team-up game?
Shit.
Still directed by some other guy.
The most Unreal Engine 3 game of all time.
Of all time, yeah.
Right after Enslaved Odyssey to the West.
Yeah. Okay, we've come full circle. Yeah. Anyway, that should wrap things up for tonight. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks, buddy.
As usual, thanks for your continued support, and catch you guys next time.
See ya, TG bros.